Welcome to this online course about Megatrends. My name is Yudo Anggoro from the School of Business and Management, Institut Teknologi Bandung. In this online course, we are going to discuss about the megatrends, the opportunities and challenges that were brought by these changes. Before we continue, let's discuss about the definition. What is actually megatrends and why it is important for business and society to respond? Well, it is basically about the massive changes that influence the life of people global-wide. It is supported by data and rigorous study, and since this brings massive challenges, so that it also creates many opportunities for the business and government to respond. But the study of megatrends actually started back in 1980s. At that time, there was this scholar called John Naisbitt. He made the predictions about the world in the future. And what made him famous? Because most of his predictions were correct. That's why he was named as a futurist. And since then, the phrase futurist becoming more prominent. What were the predictions by John Naisbitt, this futurist? At the time, he predicted that there will be changes from industrial society to information society. He also made predictions that there will be change between the north part of the world to the south part of the world. And he also made predictions that conflict will also move to the eastern part of the world. Since the predictions from John Naisbitt, the futurist, becoming more prominent, since then, some institutions, government, they made their own versions of megatrends. I give you an example. One prominent consulting firm, PricewaterhouseCoopers, made the predictions of megatrends 2050. So by its name, we know that it is actually about the predictions how the world can look like in the year of 2050. PricewaterhouseCoopers made the predictions of the megatrends 2050. Basically, they listed 5 major megatrends in 2050. Let's discuss those megatrends one by one. The first megatrend is the shift of economic power from the west to the east. We have seen in the past that these Western countries such as the US and countries in Europe, they dominated the economic global-wide. But in the future, in the 2050, the center of gravity, the center of economy global-wide will move to the east, especially in Asian countries. So these are the countries that we know: China, India, Indonesia, South Korea will be the center of the economic power in the future. Well, it might seem like a good predictions and it might create a good hope for us, but we need to keep in mind that not only the opportunities that will move to the Asian countries, but the problems, the threats, the challenges will also move to this region. So problems such as fundamentalism, radicalism, wrong belief will also move to the Asian countries. So we need to be aware of the consequences. Next, we discuss the second megatrend. What is this? This is about the demographic shift. The data shows that the majority of people in some countries will be older. For example, here I get the data that in 2050, 21% of people will be getting old. Well, actually we have seen the evidence at the moment because countries such as China, Japan, Germany, now the demographic was dominated by the old generation, all the elderly. Why? If the elderly dominates the demography, it can create problems. Well, we have seen and we know that actually getting old is identical with becoming less productive. If we are old, it means that we need more support in terms of health, in terms of basic facilities such as medicine, hospitals, and other basic facilities. So, aging society is getting to create more problem in the future, and we need to anticipate that. The third megatrend is related with the rapid urbanization. Many people will live and reside in the big cities, in the urban areas, in the big cities such as New York, Tokyo, London, Jakarta, Calcutta, Mumbai. Why it is a serious threat? 72% of people global-wide will move to the urban areas. So that the government need to provide facilities, enough housing, enough jobs, enough food for everybody. So we can imagine that if the population is so dense and the people there, they don't have any jobs or they don't have access to the food, then they will go on the street. They will create social unrest. There will be demonstration on the street. Of course, we don't want that to happen. So we need to respond this issue seriously. Next, we discuss the fourth megatrend. It is about the rise of technology. More people, billions of people will be connected to technology in their daily lives. With the way they work, with the way they live, with the way they study, everything will be connected to technology. So we can imagine if people are not adaptive, they are not learning on how to use the technology, they will be left behind. And we can imagine if, for example, some jobs were gone because replaced by robots, by computer, by artificial intelligence. Of course, it can create more social issues in the future. So we need to make sure that people are going to be trained in using the latest version of technology so that people can be adapted. The last and the fifth megatrend is about climate change and resource scarcity. So we know that climate change is real. What is the evidence? Report has shown that at least for Jakarta, there is a serious threat that Jakarta will be sinking in the future, in the next 20 years. So people who now live in the coastal region, in Ancol, in the northern part of Jakarta, they need to move out from this area, because if they are not going to move out, their place will be drowned by water. So this is a serious threat from the climate change. Pollution is also a serious threat, also caused by this climate change. Resource scarcity is also a serious threat. Now, we are quite fortunate that we can get easy access of food. Every time we got hungry, we can just eat the food and we can get the food instantly. We also have access to the clean water. But if we look at in other areas, such as in South Africa or in India, some people who live in the rural areas, they don't have enough access of food and clean water. They need to wait, so that they can get this food in sufficient amount. So if we fail to anticipate these changes, so people in the future will be having difficulties in getting the food and also clean water. So those are the 5 major megatrends in the world in the year 2050. So how we need to respond? There are 3 strategies. First and the foremost, it's about collaboration. Collaboration between all the institutions, the government, the business, and also the society, so that we can create more opportunities. Second, we need to make sure that the people are skillful enough, are trained enough in using the technology. So that if people are trained enough and skillful enough, there will be no people left behind in using the technology. And finally, the third one, we need to devise more strategy to respond to these changes. Well, those are the mega trends in the year 2050. Hopefully by watching to this online course, we can respond to these mega trends better in the future. Thank you.